Okay, so hi everyone, welcome on board. Welcome to CATKing. This is Anisha here, and from the entire series of YouTube sessions with all the beautiful women I've been having today to inspire you with respect to which colleges to apply, which stream to take, how to crack MICA, how to crack IIMs, everybody in the interviews and all the different experiences. Today, I have with me here two beautiful women coming, one from IIM Ahmedabad, one from FMS, and we are going to have a discussion on all the people who are sitting here and planning to give CAT 2022. What should your strategy be? What kind of challenges you can face up and down, whatever you will see, and your FMS and IIM Ahmedabad interview strategy tips as well, also for the people who are giving the interviews right now. So, Ankita and Kirti, are you guys on board?
Hi, ma'am. Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Hi,
everyone.
ma'am.
Hi, everyone. Welcome on board. So I have Ankita here from IIM Ahmedabad and working with MasterCard. We have Kirti, who's an IIT and then FMS. And why should I give the introduction? Let's hear it from them about their journey and their introduction as well. So over to you, Ankita. First, why don't you quickly introduce yourself to the beautiful people listening to us?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I am Ankita, currently working at MasterCard as a consultant. I'm an MBA graduate from IIM Ahmedabad. Previously, I have also worked at ZS Associates for about a year. And I am an engineer with an economics background. And yeah, that's about it.
Lovely. So we have Ankita from IIM Ahmedabad, a non-engineer who made it to IIM Ahmedabad. So Ankita, what was your CAT percentile like?
It was 99.07.
Lovely. So 99.07. So all the people with those myths and misconceptions कि engineers don't make it and don't get 99, live hai aapke samne, who's been there, done that, and already completed her MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. And we have Kirti also with us here. So welcome on board, Kirti.
Thank you, ma'am.
So how has your journey been? Like, what have you done before your MBA, before FMS and engineering? How's it been?
Yeah, so I'm a graduate of electrical engineering from IIT Jodhpur. Then I directly joined into FMS study for my MBA. And now I will be joining American Express in a few months.
Lovely. So we have two competitions sitting out here. One is from MasterCard, one is from American Express, and both on the same platform out here today. Brilliant. So as a fresher, Kirti, when you joined FMS, do you think you faced a little challenges and, with the entire batch? Kaisa hai?
After joining FMS, it was a bit of flexible for us because it was a peak of pandemic. So comfort with level, we had a lot of freshers in our pool. So that a bit of help out to create that FOMO. But yes, we had our own struggles. For the initial months, for the summers, I think it was very much safe for us. I mean, FMS being the marketing mecca, we got into marketing internships being a fresher. But when it came for the final and offer papers, there was a little bit of struggle to be made, but we made it to the finals.
Lovely. That's amazing. That's really good. So for people who are listening to us, यार पहले तो एक like करो. हम कब से आपको inspire करने के लिए बहुत सारे different colleges के लोग लेके आए हैं. तो एक like तो बनता है to thank these people who are taking out time through their work and the schedule and sitting on Women's Day instead of celebrating and partying outside. वो तुम्हें ज्ञान देने आए हैं. So thanks for that. And Ankita, what was your strategy? Like, CAT abhi hair time. That's what everybody thinks. Do you think like what should be the strategy for the next few months? March se leke March to khatam hone wala hai almost, but half is done. Chalo, March se leke aage tak ka what should be the prep strategy?
I think for the people who think that there is time, there is no time because prep for people who are very serious to crack IIMs and crack top B schools, that starts almost 1.5 years when they are in their, for people appearing in say third year, right after like during the college days, their prep starts in the second year itself, right? And from the end of the second year. So almost there is like a 1 year preparation strategy that goes there. But if you are starting now, I think it's not very late. I'm really sorry. I'm getting one call, very urgent. Sorry.
Okay, great. So till then we'll hear it out from Kirti. What was your strategy? You're a fresher. right? So college के exams के साथ में MBA की preparation, how did you balance that and how do you manage that up?
I think it will go on the priority. I went it very slow and study. Fortunately, I was from IIT, so I had that mathematics background. I was well for it. But for English, I need a steady preparation. I think first I analyzed myself. I gave few random mocks at the start with different free mock trials available. Then I saw my mock scores. I can see the trend that, okay, this is my positive, this is my negative. I think then I made a strategical plan for the next few months. I make sure it should be studied. It was not in a hurry or anything, because for me, English needs some time. So everything, I think for anyone, they have to understand their own weak points, then strategize. But yeah, they have to be persistent. Definitely. Hard work is other.
That's important, be consistent. See, it's all about the discipline which you have. If you make time every day, 30 minutes also, you will be able to crack, because you're doing it on a daily basis. So, you're more confident because of that discipline. So it's very important to focus on those aspects to achieve that goal. And Kirti, like when you start, you are coming from an IIT engineer, electrical engineering background, and now you're sitting for an MBA. So, you have a lot of options. Ki engineering ke baad MBA kyun karna hai? That's one of the first questions which any interview panelist asks. So what do you think? What was your answer to it? And do you think that is an important question that comes up?
Yeah, irrespective of whatever background you prefer, the definite question is that why you want to become an MBA. Because in India, it was like, okay, what's next for the PG? Let's do MBA. So for me, I think personally, I had made a choice early in my second year itself. I got to understand where my weak point and my strong point is. And again, I had my second thoughts. Well, if I'm not that technically sound, that's why I'm doing an MBA. So then what I did is I put my effort into research. So my research paper got published in my last final year. So there I got it that I enjoyed it, but this was not something I would love to do for the next 10, 15 years of my life. So I think that drove down to that into other decision of doing an MBA. But yes, I did my experience through multiple internships in marketing research. Then I had talks with my seniors who were in IIM Ahmedabad, FMS. And one thing is that I was made sure that, okay, I'm not looking back. The regret is that first question you have to ask yourself, and the panelists, are you sure you're not going to take this path for the next? So I think personal decision, I think that will give the confidence when you give that answer in that to the professor, that will give that confidence that you have to be believing in your own story.
Absolutely. That's very important. And like a very important thing which you mentioned is don't look back. You have to constantly keep going. Now, today we are talking about Women's Day and everybody talks about women empowerment. And, we still have lesser people doing an MBA, right? When you look at your own batch diversity also, you'll have that. So do you think that we still have, did you face any challenges why you are doing an MBA? And, like people suggested why you should not do an MBA or some such kind of roadblocks?
Personally, for me, I have never been questioned on that, whether I should do an MBA or not. My family has always pushed me that you can do it. And even my friend circle, everyone, and the main thing is whether you believe it or not. If you believe it, you can even convince your family and friends. So that is not an issue. So personally, I've never faced such a challenge on whether I should be doing MBA or not. And I think it also comes from the fact that people are not confident themselves. Like even girls, they are not confident themselves whether they should do or not. Which path should they take? Because the most common path, especially for a non-engineer or someone coming from a commerce background in class 12, is CA, or say just BCom and then explore CA for the first two levels and then decide whether I have to continue CA or not. I also had that option. I gave CA first level. I cleared that as well. But then I decided I don't want to do CA. I want to get into economics. And there were multiple factors coming into that also, right? There were research which I had done, which my family had done, whether this is the right path or not and what it could lead to. Ultimately, it also boiled down to whether I do a CA, BCom, CA, or whether I do an economics. What do I what do I want to do after that? Whether which field do I want to go? of course, you do not have 100% clarity at that point of time, but at least some direction you have to think, right? Whether you want to go for an MBA or whether you want to go for further more studies like MSc or something. So those are the two natural paths. When I went into my economics studies, that time I realized that I am good at it, but that is not something which I would want to do for my masters and take it further. That is not something which I wanted to do again and again. Although I was good at it, I scored well, everything was good, but I did not find that passion.
Right.
So naturally the choice was MBA or just work, right? So even work, you do not get very good quality positions right after your undergraduation. At least I did not get, or maybe I did not apply to that many companies that I could have got. So that is why I decided that I'll take a drop. I gave MBA. I could not clear it. My IIM attempt was this third attempt. So,
Okay.
but that was something which I had in mind, that if I want to go, I wanted to go into the top 10 B schools only. I had options in the previous years as well. It was not that I did not have options, but
Right.
that was a conscious choice. But what helped in the third attempt is the confidence which I had in myself, which I did not have in the first two attempts. In the third attempt, I was working and still I cracked IIM Ahmedabad. In the first two attempt, I was focusing only on CAT and still I could not. Again, right? So the my whole point here being is the confidence in yourself, and the roadblocks will get cleared if you have confidence, right? So, and I think my family also instilled that only in from the very beginning, that if you believe that you can do it, you will be able to do it. So I think they have always been a support, and nowhere someone who has restricted me from anything. So on that front, I have been very fortunate.
Lovely. That's great. That's really brilliant. People who are listening to us, I hope you guys are also taking notes with respect to what their journeys are, how and what decision you make, because at every step you are making a decision, whether it's going in for graduation stream or you're looking at, with respect to post graduation, all of them, it's a choice which you make and you should stand by your choice. And like Kirti said, don't look back. That's very important. Before we sign off for it, quick check on the how was your interview experience, like Ankita and Kirti. Do you think your FMS or IIM Ahmedabad interview experience, was it very grilling, or how did it go for you? What kind of advice would you give to people who are listening to us?
So, Kirti, you can go ahead. Okay, I'll go.
Okay, so go on. Yeah.
Okay. So my Ahmedabad interview was the last interview which I gave. There were other interviews scheduled after that, but before the other interviews could be conducted, my result was out. So I did not appear for the other interviews. But Ahmedabad interviews, I had almost like 4 or 5 interviews prior to that. So NMIMS, SPJain, CAP interviews. I'm Calcutta, I'm Kozhikode. So I had those interviews. I would say my Ahmedabad interview was not very grilling. It was like fairly a friendly conversation, or that I assumed that it's a fairly conversation, because I could answer them. I could confidently tell them that if I don't know, I don't know. Right. And that is a culmination of the experiences which I had in the previous interviews. So I would never define my Ahmedabad interview as okay or grilling, because it was because of the learning experience from the previous interviews, which I felt very grilling. So what my aim and what I would suggest everyone to do is that whenever you give an interview, don't think that it is not gone well. Okay, it might have not gone well, but at the end of the day, do think back what were the things that went wrong and how can you improve that in your next interview. Because and that is not just for your interview, even if you know someone who has given interviews of the same institute or for other institutes, ask them what were the questions that was asked, not 10 minutes before the interview, but like a day or two prior. Prepare so that it is not overwhelming. So that is what I did. I contacted my friends who had the same background, so like economics, work experience, what questions were they asked. I prepared myself accordingly, so I knew what was coming. And there were few questions which I did not know an answer to, and I told them, like, I had thought in the interview as well for 10-15 seconds I could not answer. So I told them, sorry, I don't know about this.
Correct.
But thankfully, that did not impact. So that at least brings a conclusion that you don't have to answer everything.
True.
So, and another pointer on confidence, just one would be so there was one incident which happened just before the IIM Ahmedabad interview, during the interview. So during my what writing at that time, after that actually, so
Yeah.
my blazer had some, chewing gum stuck because of the table which I was sitting in, just right in front. Although I tried to hide it through a lot of mechanisms, but it was very visible. And unfortunately, I was the first one to enter the
Oh God.
interview room, and that was at 8:30 in the morning. So again, I am still not sure whether they saw that, did not see that. I think they might not have seen because I'd hidden it with my hands. But yeah, so again, that goes on to show that if you just divert your attention to your talks
Yeah.
and not on the physical appearance, then that will help you throughout your interview as well.
Absolutely. That's a very important piece of advice, guys. Stay focused on what's your end goal. What are you answering? Let people listen to you. That's important. So that is why we always talk about, go well dressed and everything. You go shabbily dressed and the focus goes there. So that is something which you should keep a check on. So that's very important. Kirti, how about you? Like, FMS is shorter interviews usually and an extempore. So what was your experience like?
Fortunately, unfortunately, our batch did not have the interview. So we
Oh,
got, since we are the pandemic batch, so we got directly into FMS. But one thing is that we prepare a lot. We were waiting till the last minute when we'll get the result, but they gave the direct admission form. So, but since we prepared, and I've seen the next batches.
yes.
So one suggestion for every FMS aspirant will be going is that understand your admission form, what you're submitting for FMS. Every question being asked, especially about your extracurricular as well as SOP, that's what they actually want to judge with. So they want to understand how are you as a person. And FMS interview, as you said, they're mostly interactive because our professors and everybody get with the mindset that we accept the person with the same personality. We just want to check how much honest and how much they will be resonating with the FMS values. We have some core values of honesty that actually the recruiters who come to our campus will be looking forward to. So that's where the actual key part lies with. So, and as Ankita said, the confidence of the tone as well as how much clarity you will be talking about, everything matters. So even if you don't know, it's all right. Honesty is one of the very core points every B school is looking forward. But yes, but go well prepared. Though
Absolutely.
generally want to see how sincere you are towards your preparation levels.
That's very important piece of advice. Everyone knows you're preparing for interviews, but how well are you preparing is what's being tested when you are sitting on that hot seat. So make sure you're putting in efforts. And thanks a lot, Ankita and Kirti, for coming on board with us. And any parting thoughts or last piece of advice for all the people who wish and aspire to be your super juniors at IIMs, IIM Ahmedabad and FMS that you would like to share with them?
Yeah,
My
Ankita,
only
go.
piece of advice would be just like we have all throughout the session, we have said, be well prepared. You have to be confident, and also you please remember that people are not looking out for clones. They are not. The interviewers are not looking out for clones. They're looking out for diversity because they want the batch to be well rounded, right? If everyone is the same, then there's no value addition. So they're not looking out for clones. Identify what are your strengths and how you can play to that. That is very important both in the interview as well as in your written exam. In your written exam, out of the three sections, what is your strength? If you get 99 percentile in one section and the other sections, even if you score 95, overall you will have 99 plus. That is what happened with me at least. So I'm assuming that is a general thing which happens, right? So identify your strengths, work on that, but don't ignore your weak areas. You have to work on that as well. Just know where you have to focus more and in what direction. That is my only advice.
Absolutely. So that's really amazing. And thank you so much,
Thank you.
Geeta, for your advice. Kirti, last parting thoughts for all the beautiful people listening to us.
Yeah, so my major advice goes with say what Ankita said, understand yourself first. You know, they were actually looking for the very efficient people. So understand yourself. And one thing, when you're preparing for CAT, understand your time management. I'm saying you MBA, what teaches you is the time management skill. So MBA preparation also makes you understand the time management skill. So if you own it, I'm saying you summers and the next, even the MBA journey will be very, very efficient. So be prepared that your journey will start from now and it will be for next 3 years for the whole preparation level and the MBA. So time management, and be very, very smart. Not the hardworking, the wins, but be very, very smart, understand your strengths and weakness and play with it well.
Lovely. That's an amazing piece of advice. So it's not just hard work, but it is smart work, analysis, practice, efforts, which help you to reach out to the place where Kirti and Ankita today are. And like Kirti mentioned, FMS didn't have interviews that day, so it was solely based on CAT. So it's your caliber also, which sometimes is the deciding factor, right? So make sure you are working hard. And thank you so much for staying tuned with us. Any further doubts or questions you have, put up on the comments and we shall take it up. And once again, wish you guys all a happy Women's Day, and see you guys for one last session tonight with some amazing women working in the industry at very senior positions as well, tonight at 11:30 p.m. All right. Bye-bye. Take care.